Anyway, welcome back to Danganronpa. It's time to remember what we were doing. I'm worried you're going to start charging a fee for these inspirational speeches. If you find my speeches to be that inspirational, I'm worried. But you guys are already paying me to do what I do. Twitch wants me to run more ads. They keep recommending, they're like, it only takes a minute. I'm like, I'm good, Twitch, I'm good. Worst case scenario, if I had to run ads, I'd run them at the end of the stream after I was done. So there's no incentive to sit through them, other than if you sit through them, it supports the channel. That would be like worst case scenario if I had to run ads. That's what I would do. I guess we have free time right now, so how are we gonna spend it? I did save my game last time, right? Right? What was the last time we... When did we stream Danganronpa last? It's only been a couple of weeks, right? Two Saturdays ago, I think. What did we do last Saturday? Alright, last Saturday, yeah. Yeah, last Saturday we did... Persona 4. I think I found it. I'm just recapping for myself what happened last time. Okay, yeah, I did save. Last time we had the whole squabble with Sakura came clean and Byakuya was being an ass, as usual. So who am I spending my free time with? Sakura is not an option. And neither is... Detective Girl. Is Crazy an option? Absolutely. Alright, do we have anything that Toko / Genocide Jack would like? I'll have to resort to the magic book myself. Also, is Toko considered separate Is Toko's likes separate from Genocide Jack's likes? They are separate. Separate people and likes. Alright, well, I guess what we'll do is we'll go find Toko. And we'll figure out which Toko we're dealing with. So how's everybody doing today? Nobody in the dining room. You know, this is a very big school to try and find one of 7 people in. I mean, subtract 3 from that number because we count as one of those 7, and there's 2 we can't hang out with. So really, we're looking for 4 individuals in this entire school. You know, it would probably be best to just start from the top and make our way down. Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't 2 show you on your minimap where people are? I gotta clean my glasses off real quick. Oh wait, I found Sakura. Can I hang out with Sakura? I know last time I tried and it wouldn't let me, but she was in her room still.
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure I'm ready to open up just yet. Maybe if you create the right opportunity.
Should I hang out with Sakura for a while? Yep, sure. You know what? Let's hang out with Sakura. Well, first, let's make sure we have something that Sakura would like or love. Got any protein coffee? I'm not as good at using this magic book as Sky is, apparently. God of War Charm, Fresh Bindings, Rose in Vitro, Azura's Tears, Secrets of the Omoplata. I think I have one of those. I have at least one of those items. I thought I had one of those anyway. Alright, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. It turns out that I have none of the items that she loves. That's unfortunate. I've got some that she likes, though. Alright, we'll just settle for something she likes.
I'm sorry. I see.
Even if I don't feel like talking, you'll still stand by me. I still don't understand you, Makoto.
I'm glad CC can pick up that voice. Without saying a word, I stood by Sakura. Sakura and I grew a little closer today. We're gonna give her the kitten hair clip.
I never imagined a boy would want to give me anything. I'm a little embarrassed, but also very happy.
I get the impression that she liked it. That's good. That did nothing. Who has deaded? Hello, Fente. We've got a lot of dead people in this game. Kitten hair clips go well with swollen muscles. Yeah, I like that. I have plenty of time. I don't feel like just sitting here. I should go somewhere. Alright, let's hang out with her again. Yeah, we're down to only 7 students left. How you doing, Fente? And yes, that Parappa emote is courtesy of Sky. He submitted it. Nobody here today. How do I submit emotes? Well, if you'd like to join the Discord, there's a link to join the Discord in the channel's description. Art and emotes can be submitted through there. Okay, can't get in there. I don't think we can go in here either. Oh, yeah, I guess we can. There's nobody up here now. Here we go, data lab. Can't get in here. Alright. No good, the door's locked. I guess I won't be getting in here. Hina is somewhere. We've hung out with Hina like 3 times now, I think. She's my favorite. Nobody in here. Everything's back to normal. Just like with Sayaka and Chihiro, Monokuma's responsible, I'm sure. Yeah, we've been playing this every Saturday for a little while now. Man, I don't know where anybody is. I miss the good old days when Sky used to just be able to tell me where everyone was. Nobody. Everybody's gone. They found a way out, and they left me here. Is Ishimaru here? I don't know. Hold on. Ishimaru has already died. Sorry, I forgot his last name. Yeah, he's already dead. we're getting near the end of this. I liked him a lot too, though. Feels bad, man. Why does feels bad, man, show up as one word in closed captions? No, 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 no. Alright, I think... Hold on. Alright, let me check something real quick. We're gonna... If I have anything that Sakura at least likes, we're gonna hang out with Sakura again. Are we allowed to hang with her again? Oh, let's check.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right, Sky.
I appreciate the thought, but I'd like to be alone right now. I need time to myself. I need to think. Although that's one skill I haven't developed too much.
Alright. Well... There goes that. Let's see if we have anything that Hina likes or loves. Yeah, Sakura just kind of called herself dumb there. She's got muscles for brains. It's pretty sus when I search Danganronpa Aoi Asahina and the first result for suggested results is age. You got donuts? I don't have any donuts right now, unfortunately. That's the first thing I check. I have some items that she likes. She apparently likes the green and red costumes. What was the top result? I don't know, I didn't click. I just saw that and read it out loud to you. Now that's if we can even hang out with her. We can't. God damn it. Alright, fine. Listen, I'm really sorry, but I kinda want to be alone right now. Got a lot I need to think about. Well, I hope the two of you don't think too hard. Here's Kyoko. She's probably still pissed at us. Go away. She won't even look at me. I guess she doesn't even want to see my face. Yeah. Wow, our options are really limited for who to hang out with. We're down to, like, Toko or Byakuya. What happened? Just plot stuff. Once you get far enough into this game, Kyoko gets mad at you. And, you know, a bunch of characters die. Sakura and Asahina aren't feeling well right now. You could always try the asshole. I mean, the one who always speaks his mind. We can also hang out with Stoner Bro. What is Stoner Bro like? We're serious. Crystal Skull, Golden Airplane. I have a Golden Airplane.
According to the spirits...
I had a dream last night. I saw that the spirit world was going to flood us with energy and save us from this school nightmare.
How about that?
It's a prophecy! Take heart, my man! Should I hang out with Hiro for a while? Yeah.
You know?
You know, there is one prediction that he has gotten correct. Unfortunately, and I can't spoil what it is, but we'll discuss at the end. Careful, he might rub off on you. Oh, I've got something I wanted to show you. I got the stigmata on my back.
Hey, come on.
It's a gift from the gods. Hiro showed me a scar on his back, though I didn't really get what it meant. Hiro and I grew a little closer today. Yeah. Dude, I got just the thing for you, man. Whoa! Such mysterious power! This is a true blue ooh part. Makoto, the dawn of a new era draws near. Seeing Hiro so pleased with something I gave him makes me happy.
Yo.
Hey, Makoto. What's up? My brother and fellow mother lover. What? Let's raise our semi-siblings up, right, okay? Oh yeah, that's right. Last time he predicted that we would have the same love interest. I forgot about that. Stop talking about that.
Oh, so then.
So, you ready for the next round? Never. Actually, how do you do your fortune telling anyway? I saw you doing palm readings and stuff, and you didn't use any tools or anything. Wow, I didn't know you knew about divination tools. Sounds like you know your way around the spirit world. I'm not sure you need to know that much to know about those kind of tools.
Yo.
Now that I know you're an expert, I have a question for you. A correct answer gets you another discount. No thanks.
Could it be?
There are 22 cards known as the Major Arcana, and 56 cards known as the Minor Arcana. This is a crossover question with Persona. Generally, the cards from the Major Arcana are used for divination. Do you know what I'm talking about? The Major and Minor Arcana, and the Major Arcana cards are used to tell the future? That must be... I Ching. I know, you're talking about tarot cards. Ah, gloriously correct! I will now tell you your fortune for a measly 600 bones. Wow, really? Is something I'd never say. I've had enough fortune telling for one lifetime. I see. Well, if you ever change your mind, you know where to find me. Sure thing. Anyway, getting back to what I asked you about before. If you don't use any tools or whatever, how do you do your fortune telling?
Don't be mean.
Well, don't be fooled. I have my own techniques. For example, I employ numerology. Numerology?
Yo.
It uses a mathematical formula to predict the future based on birth dates, letter numbering, all that. But I didn't see you do anything like that either. Well, it's more of an inspirational style of fortune telling. Some kind of unknown power just acts through you and suddenly, bam, you've got the info. You're talking about intuition.
How about that?
Don't try and describe it using such a cheesy word. But if it's not intuition, then it's gotta be some kind of supernatural power.
It's not like some occult mystery.
Don't compare my clairvoyance to some occult bullcrap. I hate the occult. Take that crap somewhere else. You hate the occult.
Well,
Yep. Now here's some good news. Act now and I'll throw in an extra bonus on your reading. I used white magic to record a CD of spirit messages I received from the luxury suite of heaven. 5 seconds of this baby and you'll be witnessing miracles and communing with angels for days. And you said you hate the occult.
what the heck?
Hey, business is business. The more I talk to him, the less I understand. Hero's report card has been updated. Skill points increased. Why do I feel like he's selling drugs? Because you could describe the reaction you'd get from drugs the same way he described your reaction to his CD. I shook off Hero's sales pitch and headed back to my room for a while.
This is a school announcement. It is now 10 p.m. As such, it is officially nighttime. Soon the doors to the dining hall will be locked, and entry at that point is strictly prohibited. Okay then. Sweet dreams, everyone. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Nighttime already. Tonight feels somehow uneasy. We still haven't settled things with Sakura. Everyone's in a terrible mood. I just hope nothing happens tonight. Oh good, time to get into the Monokuma voice. You guys ready? After I declined the offer to become a shrimp, the tech support lady just refused to drop the issue. Once the shrimp idea was dead, she came back suggesting I should become a crab instead. How much can one person love crustaceans? I said no, of course, and she shot back. Okay, then how about, to make you extra special, you can be a crab that walks sideways and backwards. But how's that any better? I don't want to go sideways or backwards. I want to go forward. I heard her annoyed sigh on the other end of the line, and then she said, "You just don't see the splendor of the crab. Haven't you ever heard of the tale of the crab and the monkey?" Of course I've heard of it. I know all about it. But so what? The crab beats the monkey, but it's just some legend. Hardly relevant to our greed-obsessed modern society. Sure, monkeys still show up in movies and stuff from time to time, but not crabs. Monkey-themed clothes are sweeping the fashion world, but the crab doesn't stand a chance, right? What I'm saying is, crabs have no place in today's light-speed world. Do your market research, lady. Which is why I chose the always popular bear image.
And that's the secret origin story of Monokuma.
Should have called these streams Impression Depression.
Good morning, everyone. It is now 7 a.m. and nighttime is officially over. time to rise and shine. Get ready to greet another beautiful day.
I need to do something about Sakura. I'd better go to the dining hall and talk to the others about it one more time. I always try to do Monokuma's voice as enthusiastic. Ah! Huh? Was that someone screaming? I think it came from the dining hall. Ah, Makoto! We got a big problem, man! What's wrong? Look! Hiro's finger shook as he pointed.
Hina! Are you okay? What happened?
She killed her. Genocide Jill killed Hina!
You gotta be kidding!
No. She's not dead! Open your eyes! No way she's dead! Why? What happened? Well, Toko and Hina just... all of a sudden they were yelling, and then... they knocked the pepper off the table. And that led to a sneeze? Her giant balloons are a little too perfect, aren't they? I might be flat, but at least mine are real. And look at my shapely collarbone. Doesn't it just totally set you on fire?
Totally not adorable.
Anyway, you totally non-adorable boys, just get her out of my sight, okay? Or else.
My beautiful scissors!
I'll start cutting and indulging myself for who knows how long. Okay then. Well, let's get Hina to the nurse's office. Come on, Hiro, help me. Sure thing. Genocide Jack's abrasive laugh chased us out of the room as we carried Hina away. By the time I finished taking care of Hina's injury in the nurse's office, she seemed to have finally regained her composure.
Sorry.
Thank you. Are you sure you're feeling better? Yeah, it really was just a scratch. But still, that was super close! If I hadn't yelled out, you'd be dead right now. It's all thanks to me, you know? Yes, well, 1,000 thanks to you, sir. So sarcastic. That just makes you sound even more hostile. Hey, Hina, what the heck happened? Oh, we just got into a fight, and I lost my temper and flew off the handle. Let me guess, the fight was because of Sakura.
But...
At first, I tried to just ignore it. If you let jerk buttholes get to you all the time, you'll never have time left to live your life. But she wouldn't let it go, so I just...
What the heck?
Without thinking about it, I felt like I wanted to punch her like a dozen times.
You're serious?
A dozen punches isn't really without thinking. And when things got out of hand, Genocide Jack got let loose, right?
Sorry.
It's my own fault, but I just couldn't take it anymore. Because she was saying all these terrible things about my friend, you know? Before I knew it, Hina's eyes started welling up with tears. And just as the tears were on the brink of spilling over, the door to the nurse's office burst open. I thought the door was going to fly off its hinges. And there she stood before us.
Hina.
Sakura.
You're hurt. What happened?
Oh, nothing. It's not a big deal.
Makoto, Hiro, what's the meaning of this?
It wasn't me! It was Genocide Jill! It's all that demented murderous fiend's fault!
Damn.
To hurt Hina. Damn you. To leave me alone but hurt her. What is this?
How dare you!
What is this?
I'm okay, really. It's just a scratch.
Oh, no forgiveness! I can't forgive this!
Screaming the chapter. Alright.
Hero, if you want to hate someone, hate me. If you want to hurt someone, hurt me.
I don't hate you, exactly.
I can't forgive this!
Why?
Somebody save me! Hiro nearly tripped over himself as he ran screaming out of the nurse's office. But just a second later... What's going on?
Hey,
What's all this noise about? Kyoko stood in the doorway of the nurse's office, taking Hiro's spot in the room.
it would seem...
I gather that something happened. Kyoko, please, you have to stop Sakura.
Wait.
You don't need to stop me. I'm okay. I'm not going to do anything, I'm drawing a line right here and now.
Drawing a line.
Goodbye.
Wait, Sakura! Hina sprang into action, leaving the nurse's office to chase after Sakura. The only ones left were... us. Kyoko... Are you still mad? Yeah, I figured.
That's fine.
It's fine. Huh?
Whew.
About that issue we discussed earlier, it doesn't matter anymore. Then, do you forgive me for not being able to talk about it?
In other words,
You could have told me about Sakura and Monokuma fighting, but you stayed quiet. You were only thinking of Sakura, and that's why you didn't tell me, right? You didn't want to confuse everyone until you could talk to her and be sure of what you saw. That's what you were thinking, and that's why you didn't tell me, right? Yeah. To think like that.
I wouldn't have expected such arrogance from you.
What?
Because
Ultimately, that means you don't trust me. No, that's not it. But if that's how you feel, I can't really change your mind. I'm sorry.
that's fine.
It's fine. I've already forgotten about it. Besides,
And
I may have overreacted. Huh?
anyway,
Anyway, it's over and done with. Like I said, let's just forget about it. Okay, thank you. That issue we discussed doesn't matter anymore. I want to talk to you about something else. What is it you wanted to talk to me about?
indeed.
Actually, I'd like you to come somewhere with me. I have business there. Where?
So,
Just come with me and you'll find out. Hold on, I gotta check something real quick. Stranger danger. I guess, but...
shall we go?
Well then, shall we get going? With her typical indifference, Kyoko turned and walked away, setting a brisk pace. Kyoko... I hurried to catch up to her. She walked ahead in silence. And in silence, I chased her. And eventually we arrived. The dressing room? No, the something else you mentioned.
Indeed.
That's right, it has to do with alter ego. But you said we didn't need alter ego anymore.
Wrong.
I didn't say we didn't need him. I just said he had done his job. Besides, it's not us that needs alter ego. He has business with us. Huh?
Right.
Alter ego asked me to bring others to come see him. Apparently, he has something he wants to ask us. Alter ego wants to ask us something. hello. Oh, so it's just the two of you? Kyoko and Makoto? Kyoko's fingers glided across the keyboard. Is two not enough? No, it's okay. Two should be plenty. But what is it he wants to ask us?
Indeed.
Let's find out, shall we? Kyoko typed in the question. What did you want to ask us? Oh yeah, so I'd like you to take me somewhere where you can connect me to the school network.
What?
Kyoko and I quickly glanced at each other. She replied, "Why?" Well, you said my job was done, right? But to just stop here, saying I've finished my work, I don't want that.
I want to be able to help.
I want to keep being helpful to everyone. I want to work as hard as everyone else so that we can all get out of here.
That's right.
That's what Master would want too. So, to help everyone else, to solve the mystery of the school,
That's right.
the only way I can help is if you connect me to this school's network. But if you did that, that's basically suicide. I'm positive the mastermind would find out about it. They'd find you and they'd... You agree, right, Kyoko?
So,
I realize how dangerous it could be. But still, I have to do this.
but
I'm scared, but I can handle it. I don't really understand why, but
still,
when I think about everyone else, my courage starts to grow. You might think I'm just some inhuman AI, but it's true. So it's okay.
I'm gonna do my best.
If it's for the sake of everyone else, I won't be afraid. I couldn't help but get lost in that voice. It was just too committed. Too admirable. Too fragile.
Hey,
You remember what he asked before, Makoto? You asked what the difference is between a person and a program, right? Yeah.
certainly.
When I talk to Alter Ego, I don't know. I have no idea how to answer that question. I think maybe that's a question even the program's creator can't answer. But I can say this.
Correct.
There's no question that Alter Ego is our friend. Kyoko, to be honest, I didn't want Alter Ego to push himself anymore. Because if we take any more risks, the mastermind might really will notice it.
Makoto.
But let's do it, Makoto. Let's connect Alter Ego to the network. But
Hey,
he's our friend, so I want to take his feelings into consideration. And he says that he wants to fight alongside his friends.
now,
If you were in his place, could you just sit by and do nothing in this situation? If you saw everyone else fighting and doing their best, could you just look the other way? Or would you stand up? Stand up tall next to everyone else and tell them you're their friend. Makoto, if you had one shot, or one opportunity, to seize everything you ever wanted, would you capture it, or just let it slip?
So,
Thank you, Neo. Oh, thank you. Hey, are you guys fighting? If it's about me, please don't.
I want to believe in myself.
I want to be able to say, I know I can do this.
Leave it to me.
So please, let me try.
listen.
And besides, there's one place where the mastermind might not notice. One place?
That's right.
Remember, there's another place besides here where there's no surveillance camera.
A surveillance camera?
The secret room? That's it, the secret room you told me about. I thought you were cueing the music. I was half tempted to cue the music. I was. If you're talking about Mom's Spaghetti. But I just wanted to read off... the lyrics as if it were... Because Kyoko's speech there for a second started to sound like... suspiciously like... lose yourself. I definitely remember where there was no surveillance camera in there.
Indeed.
And I do believe you can connect to the network from there. I remember seeing an Ethernet port on the wall. However, just because there's no camera there doesn't mean there's no danger. There's no way to be sure the mastermind isn't monitoring the network somehow. He has Norton. You can't hack me or nothing. Well, we'll also have to move Alter Ego, and the mastermind may spot us going into the secret room. If they pick up on any of this, then it's all over. You're right.
That's what we have to do.
But despite all this, I think we need to try.
Correct.
Because that's our best chance of finding any new clues. Kyoko. In that case, will you let me carry him? I gotta queue up something, hold on. I think our ultimate luck is how we've made it this far. There's no way you could hide him with what you're wearing, right? So let me do it.
It's true.
Okay, then I'll leave it to you. Thank you.
So then...
Then let's get started. It's gonna be a little cramped for you, Alter Ego. Bear with us, okay? We started packing him up right away. I closed the laptop and stuffed it underneath my jacket. It tickles. Shh, you can't talk right now. We're going to move you to another room. Until we get there, you have to be absolutely silent, okay? Understood. Your command has been implemented. Good. To have him react like a machine like that all of a sudden. I didn't know how to react.
Makoto.
In the secret room, there are a bunch of different cables in one of the desk drawers. So there might be a network cable in there.
However...
Assuming the mastermind hasn't taken it already. Well, all we can do is go and check for ourselves.
It's true.
Agreed. Let's head to the secret room. Guys, my controller's not working. What did I do? Oh, I accidentally unplugged it. Where was the secret? Was it on this floor? Hey, Makoto. Are you sure all the documents are gone? I refuse to believe you. Go and check again. What? Just hurry up and go. And to make sure you don't run off, I'm gonna wait right here. Oh, I get it. She's acting. She was so forceful, I thought I'd made her mad again somehow. Why are you just standing there? Hurry up and go! Okay, I'm going. And be thorough. I'm counting on you. Okay, first we have to find a network cable. Of According to Kyoko, there should be a bunch of cables in this drawer. Found it. This is a network cable, right? Now we just have to connect Alter Ego. I immediately got to work. I pulled out the laptop and connected it to the Ethernet port with the cable. And that should do it. Yeah, I think it worked. Just leave the rest to me. I swear I'll find something. I might even be able to connect to the outside world. If I can, I'll see if I can call for help. So please, just wait a little while longer. Just hold tight and put your faith in me. As I was about to leave, I decided to leave him with one last thing. No matter what, we're gonna get out of here. You and all the rest of us. As friends. Friends? Even me? Thank you. Thank you, Makoto. That was the perfect length for the song, by the way. It ended just as we finished that scene. Alright guys, I need to inspect my controller real quick. Okay, it's good. For some reason the connection cable got loose, but it's good now. Maybe. Yeah, it's good. Somehow I just managed to unplug it without really realizing it. I'll probably, worst case scenario, I gotta buy a new Xbox controller. How'd it go? Well, it went okay, but all the documents were gone. Just like I told you. My reply was an unintentional mix of acting and real feelings.
Correct.
I see. Then there's nothing left for us here.
Goodbye.
Before I knew it, Kyoko was walking away. She wasn't acting anymore, that much was for sure.
What?
Kyoko. Yes? So we're just gonna split up?
Why is that?
Of course, I have no reason to stay with you at this point. Well, maybe, but isn't that a little too direct? Should I hesitate and fumble for something to say? You're so high maintenance. That's not what I meant. I just had more I wanted to talk to you about. Like, what are you going to do about Sakura?
It's true.
Well, something has to be done, it's true.
However...
But the way things are right now, there's no way to persuade anyone. They don't have the mind to listen. Then what should we...
So...
If we can find some new clue, that would likely change the situation. That's all we can hope for right now. Which is why Alter Ego...
Correct.
All we can do is wait and believe in our friends. You're right. That's our only option. We parted ways and I headed back to my room. Let me check something real quick. Just because this has me paranoid. How much would it cost for me to buy a new wired Xbox One controller? Is this the same brand I'm using? No, I'm using PDP. Sorry guys, sorry for the interruption, but I'm just curious. PDP XP Xbox One controller. All right. You know what? Uh, I just ordered a new controller. All right, sorry for that brief distraction. I'm kind of tired, so I lay down in bed. Another stream goal crushed. Yep. Maybe it was because of the stress of moving Alter Ego, but I was way more tired than I realized. It's easy to just impulse buy a new controller when they're only like 25 bucks. These Xbox One controllers I use. If you want a good gaming PC controller, buy a PDP brand Xbox One wired controller. Maybe it was because of the stress of moving Alter Ego, but I was way more tired than I realized. So before long at all, I'd completely dozed off. Huh? The sharp sound of the doorbell pierced my sleepy haze and pulled me back to the real world.
Makoto.
Get out here. Kyoko, what's going on?
Indeed.
Hina just came to see me and she was white as a ghost. It sounds like something's happened. What? As soon as I heard those words, my heart started to beat a little faster. I suddenly found myself wide awake. She said for us to come to the rec room. The rec room? Okay, let's hurry. Makoto, Kyoko. Hina, what's wrong? Something's not right. In the rec room. What's inside? There was a window on the rec room door and I hurried to look inside. And when I did... Sakura? Is she unconscious? She's sitting up in the chair like she's bowing her head.
Hey.
What's going on? Did something happen to her?
Huh?
I was just walking past and I happened to notice her through the window. But I couldn't get the door open. I tried knocking, I tried calling her name, but she wouldn't respond. So what should we do? What are we gonna do?
Anyway.
First of all, we need to get into that rec room. But the door's locked, right? And if we break in, we'll be violating school regulations.
Listen to me.
We're going to force our way in. I just said...
Wrong.
The door isn't locked. It's not locked because the rec room door doesn't have a lock. Huh? Then why?
It would seem...
It feels like the door is pressing up against something inside the room. Is it the chair? Chair?
In other words,
Share. Do you believe? Hello, evil. Welcome. Either way, this door isn't locked, which means, as far as I can tell, the rule doesn't apply. Then there's no problem if we break in.
indeed.
Let's smash the window. That should be the fastest way. Okay, I'll go get something to break it with. Wait right here. Inside the rec room, Sakura still hadn't moved an inch. She's just unconscious, right? Is she okay? I mean, it's Sakura, so I'm sure. Kyoko didn't reply. There was only silence. But that silence didn't last long. Here. I found a broom in the classroom. Use it.
Makoto.
You can handle this, right, Makoto?
Please!
Come on, please, hurry! Okay, you two, stand back. I took hold of the broom and swung as hard as I could. Aiming directly at the window, all it took was one solid hit. The window shattered into 100 pieces, scattering across the rec room floor. I stuck my hand through the now open window and started jostling the chair leaning against the door. The chair's pretty heavy, but if I can just... I pushed on it with all my strength, and finally the knob turned. Sakura? I ran up to her as fast as I could. But the moment I laid my hand on her... all I felt was cold death. I could feel only the last lingering warmth of a living body. Life had abandoned Sakura's body. And then...
A body has been discovered! After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin! Danganronpa.
Huh? Sakura's dead? She's really dead?
I heard Hina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I could only look on at Sakura's dead body. We didn't make it in time. It's happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to gently inspect Sakura's body. I wondered, was she confirming that Sakura really was dead? Checking for a pulse or a reaction? I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room. And I... Why? Why did this have to happen? That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there motionless behind her, while she checked Sakura's corpse. Time passed. While I stood there unable to do a thing, time just passed. And after I don't know how long, I got everyone.
What?
Oh, ogre?
Yes.
Oh, so she's dead, huh?
I see.
Sakura's been killed. I see. As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began.
Just a second.
You heard the announcement just now, right? So you know what this means.
Interesting.
Sakura was murdered. And by someone in this very room. Is that what you were going to say?
Huh?
No. Whoever killed her, it's not just someone in this room.
It's your fault.
It was one of you, Hiro, Byakuya, Toko. One of you killed Sakura.
What?
You're accusing us before we've even begun the investigation. I don't need to investigate anything, because you hated her. You hated the sight of her.
I won't forgive you.
One of you did it, I know it. You know it?
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Jeez, I didn't know your power level would increase by that much, just by getting mad!
What the heck?
What are you doing here?
Come on.
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to hand out my little murder flyer!
It's the Monokuma file.
And don't get so mad, Miss Asahina, or you're gonna ruin that lewd little face of yours! Now then, with that, Hold on. There's something I want to ask you. It was you, wasn't it? You killed Sakura.
Say what?
Huh? Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind to a duel. Maybe you and her fought again, and
In
then...
other words,
Then I killed her? Sorry, not quite. Actually, not even close. That whole thing is totally irrelevant now. Sakura came to a most regrettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Which, thank God for that. It saved me the trouble of having to go through with our little fight. Because even for someone like me, it would have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that.
hey,
I gotta tell ya, I was actually pretty worried. I mean, she violated a rule by attacking me in the first place, but I wasn't able to punish her.
well done.
So I don't know who it was, but whoever the blackened is this time, I owe you one.
What is this?
You owe them one? Oopsie. Before you get all pissy-potty at me, you better figure out who did it first.
Shing.
Because, I mean, your lives are all on the line, right?
What is this?
What the hell? He owes them one?
I won't forgive you.
I hate him. I hate this whole thing. Well, I, for one, am glad it was Sakura. She was working for the mastermind, after all. How can you say that now? Sorry, I don't have time for your squabbling. The next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura.
Anyway,
Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. If we can't do that, we're all dead. Then let's decide who will stand guard this time. I'll do it. Hina? I'm okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here with Sakura.
That's fine.
Okay, then Hina is guard number 1, but we need one more. Kyoko, that's you.
What?
Me? You're always a thorn in my side. This time, just stand by and watch quietly. Consider that an order. An order?
that's fine.
Fine, I'll stay behind. Then it's settled. Let's begin, shall we? Hold on. Before that, there's something I want to say.
What?
Which is... Hiro, Byakuya, Toko, none of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene. What?
It's your fault.
One of you killed Sakura.
I won't forgive you.
I won't let someone like that come anywhere near her.
Stop talking.
Don't be stupid. Our lives are in just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say, I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Even if it means I have to use force, you're not getting in here. Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise?
It's all clear now.
I won't ask you to let all of us in. Just let me. What? You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway.
Yep.
Nope, don't really care. I'd rather spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway. And you, Hero, do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care?
It's all clear now.
Then it's decided.
What are you saying?
Nothing's decided.
Calm down.
I know how you feel, Hino, but you should agree to this request. But
Hey,
we have to find out who killed Sakura,
correct.
for those of us still alive, and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine, I guess that's okay. But no matter what, Byakuya, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her. Naturally, who would want to touch a filthy dead body?
Listen,
That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer,
listen to me.
all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura. It's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to do it. It's a kind of hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. I'd better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. That's nice. Monokuma file number 4 has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook.
Charlie, I feel like a sack of shit in this thing. You look good. I feel like I'm a 4-year-old going to my sister's wedding.
You're the limo driver. You gotta look the part, bud.
Well, you don't look like a millionaire.
I'm a casual millionaire from Texas.
You look
Frank!
like a
So, how did you make your fortune?
Hustling and a wrestling, this and that. Made a decent penny in boiled denims and the bridge business, mostly. Frank up there, though. Now, that man is rich in spirit, he's rich in character, and that's a true fortune if you're asking me to have that.
So, you build bridges?
I'm kind of into bridges myself.
Yeah.
I found a whole case of eggs under a bridge last week. Perfect condition. None of them missing, none of them cracked. I mean, who in their right mind throws away a perfectly good case of eggs this day and age? I mean, it's a sick world, don't you think?
Oh, he's good with the conversation and... Excuse me, I believe I'm coming down a bit of something here.
I got bit by a crab under that same bridge.
Oh, did you?
You ever been bit by a crab, Hunt?
Can we maybe put this divider up?
Well, no, we don't want to exclude a great man like Frank from the conversation. Oh, my God! Call 911! No, it's okay. I have a touch of consumption.
Hey, he's all right. Why don't we drop him off? You and I'll go to dinner, okay?
You know what? I think I've been poisoned by my constituents. Oh, my God!
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?
Yeah, he's got an egg. You might...
Oh, there, I pull over, okay?
You two can go to dinner together.
Help me, somebody, please!
Ah, shit, Charlie. What the hell went on back there?
I swallowed like 1 million blood capsules because I was gonna cough like, a handful of blood to make it real. And now I'm thinking like you're not supposed to eat them or something because they're making me really sick.
Ah, Charlie, you blew it.
You're the one talking about eggs and crabs and shit.
I love eggs, Charlie.
Okay.
And I love crabs.
I love crabs.
And I love boiling denim
I
and
love
banging
boiling-
whores.
well-
And I don't care if anybody doesn't like that about me. They don't have to stick around.
You're right. What's wrong
Screw
with that
'em.
chick?
I miss Roxy. Roxy and I are made for each other.
Yeah. Tell you what. If it's Roxy you wanna... Yeah. That's the last of it, I think.
That was just to help catch anyone up who hasn't been following what's been going on in Danganronpa.
Hey,
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why's that?
so...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut with the chair from inside the rec room. Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right?
In other words...
In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes like this?
Hey,
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
that's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. I mean, it's hard to watch a show like Murder, She Wrote. Detective shows like that almost always love to do at least one locked room murder. God knows Sherlock Holmes has its fair share. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
In other words...
Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door or something like that.
However...
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list.
It's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other words...
They stay hidden, and when the door is opened, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible. Maybe.
It's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room?
In other words...
By that, I mean there's actually an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities. And Kyoko, which of these 4 choices seems the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. Excuse me. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. Well, that's sus. Huh? The locker's open and there's... And there, on the inside. It's a handprint?
Why?
Who was, shagging in the locker? What's the handprint doing here? Looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and it left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was open? Don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not?
Hey.
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then... What does this handprint mean? Locker handprint has been added to the truth bullets section in your handbook. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I could see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Byakuya.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. Why she die? There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red and... These are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. Glass shards on the floor has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook. Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. This looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
Ah, that's... Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well...
Well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. Well, Sky, if that were the case, then you could absolutely get soft-locked in this game. So you gave that candy to Sakura. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. Do you really like them that much?
I mean...
But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. It would convince me that this game was secretly developed by Sierra. Yeah, oof. But now they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Polka dot candy wrapper. Well, it seems like Sakura ate it before she bit it. The dust, that is. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is how they get those figures inside the bottle.
So...
It's no different from your standard chip in a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that? Oh, yeah, maybe I have.
In other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. What's sponsored? Ship in a bottle? I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things, little by little. The Monokuma bottles sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. And there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
So...
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
Wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Huh? What is?
Hey.
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
Correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can, they're also underneath it. Why does that matter?
So...
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. An important clue? I'm not sure I see how. It's a big-ass can.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. Go away. He's not even trying to hide how much he despises me. I'd better go before he crushes my soul completely.
However...
But for Sakura to have been killed... Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist. Strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly, they would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her.
What the heck?
We already know who did it.
I won't forgive you.
Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me... She said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon? The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth, I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her, by force even, this never would have happened. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Aoi's account. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So, you found out. Interesting. Then it's true. I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her. Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. Where's... How do I get out? I guess there's more to look at here.
Hey.
Oh, there's something over there. You know, I almost didn't see that on the floor there. There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died?
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
So then...
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
Listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided. She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right, I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. So it's time to go find Hiro and Toko. Those other 2 probably went back to their rooms. She's a strong, independent woman, and Makoto's a sub, so it works out. Yep, absolutely. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
Who's there?
Ugh, the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something? If it's something indecent, get ready for a sexual harassment lawsuit. Okay, so I guess... Oh, she's out here still.
What do you want?
I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. What?
Well...
I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me he had asked to meet with him. She had asked to meet with him. Sorry guys, I'm kind of tired. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said two, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit, I did get the note. But I didn't go see her. I was so scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but... Can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Alright, now we just gotta find Hiro. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
What?
How'd you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? What? I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? Then when did Sakura tell you that?
What?
Oh, well... When she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She,
How about that?
She gave it to me in person. And she happened to mention the others, like in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super sus. So, then you went and met with Sakura?
You got it all wrong!
No way! I totally didn't! Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely sus.
Actually...
The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt, and I took her to the nurse's office.
Don't look at me!
I haven't seen her since then! While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around inside his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Oh, sorry. Looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Huh? Huh?
What?
Oh! Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out.
Trash.
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked me to meet with me. Asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Pocket trash has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook. Okay, so I've heard from Toko, Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? Well, let's head to the chem lab. Who wants to go get some chemicals? Do you think Monokuma would be upset if we built our own meth lab in the school? Not that we have any of the protective equipment required to run such a establishment. What are we running? A meth lab? I said, hypothetically, do you think Monokuma would get upset with us if we started a meth lab inside the school? This isn't my first time seeing the shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. Looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? To be careful not to step in it. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all that powder came from? It looks like the bottle had a label on it, Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning checking things out, and at that point, this room wasn't like this. Then this powder must have been spilled.
So in other words...
That's right. It could only have been around the time of the incident. If that really is when it happened, it must be related to the case somehow. Source of the powder has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook. These are footprints? And they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
What?
Well, let's go. Chop chop. Okay. Whose feet are about that size? I haven't been looking at characters' feet. I'm sorry. So I got to work, and before long I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. How's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me?
I see.
So, when you look at it like this... Interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly possible.
Makoto, are they yours? No.
What?
Okay then. Let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. You know what they say about big feet? Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints. Unfortunately. But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. And these prints are a really valuable clue. On this shelf is one look and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All of the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section C. So on this shelf it looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. How have you lived in such ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Isn't that kinda harsh?
What?
What, you think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world?
That's fine.
The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter right now. I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter B and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section B. Huh, I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. Let's see, what's on this shelf? There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section A. Huh? But wait. There's one bottle here labeled Chem C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? I should try to find out more about this shelving unit. It looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. But what concerns me is that in Section A there was a bottle with a label from Section C. What was the bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on there. Chem lab shelf has been added to the truth bullets section. Is that everything? Nope. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. Better not leave a footprint. I should probably take a good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. And there's also the remains of a broken bottle. It looks like the bottle was labeled Chem C4. Also, it looks like someone left some footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left side of the shelf. According to Byakuya, the powder would had to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. I've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Maybe I should take another look around the rec room. Alright. We'll probably end up saving this today once we get past the investigation stage. And we'll save the trial for next Saturday. But if I have some time, I might do something bonus afterwards. If that sounds good to you guys.
Hey.
So, Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told me.
I see.
So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway...
Well, I've made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These 3 things have revealed new clues. You'd do well to look them over one more time. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. And on top of that, near the glass, it's a Monokuma figure that fits in the palm of my hand. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body.
Just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but...
Hey.
Don't you think you might need to actually examine the body?
Whew.
There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although there are still some times. I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
It's true.
That's totally normal. Then how can you?
So...
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. That is a sus statement. What? Sorry, never mind.
Hey.
More importantly, look here. Her shoes?
Correct.
You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1. Yellow powder has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook.
Hey.
Next is the wound to her head. Look carefully.
It's true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just explain.
It would seem...
It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. I think Kyoko said she'd found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new, something new. Hmm?
Hey.
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. A correlation. Hey Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is?
So...
I don't mind guiding you toward clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusion so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer? I do trust you, to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree.
Hey.
Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment?
Anyway...
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces, too. Huh? Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
That doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious Byakuya is not here, so...
So then...
Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is about, but... What choice do I have? I'd better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting.
So then...
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So, what kind of experiment are we doing?
In other words...
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Compare the weights of what? The pieces of glass you collected, and one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
Listen.
First, let's compare the weight of the 2 normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced.
In other words...
Which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same, and nothing else could really affect the weight.
So then...
Now here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now what might we expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out, or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
So then...
Okay, then let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible?
I knew it.
Just as I thought. What?
In other words...
The results of our experiment, and the correlation between each of the bottles puts it all together.
Hey.
And I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So what do you think? It's all on you. Something new, something new.
Hey.
There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. A correlation. I don't know what the bottles have in common, and I don't understand the results of the experiment. Makoto, this is like grad school stuff. Come on. Comparing the weight of the broken bottle pieces to a completely intact Monokuma bottle. The broken pieces were clearly heavier. What does that mean?
So...
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles. Put it together, and I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion.
Indeed.
So what do you think? It's all on you. The new clues that Sakura's body revealed. First was the yellow powder stuck to the instep of her shoe.
Indeed.
And there's the wound on her head. It's now clear that she suffered 2 blows to the head. And...
Indeed.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
Right.
So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Okay, what am I... Like, I see that there's two missing bottles. There's also a missing piece.
So...
Guys, it's really, really warm in my apartment. Like, fuck. It's making me drowsy. Hold on, I gotta go turn the heat down. Down for what? I don't have any clothes to take off, Sky. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm wearing clothes. Okay, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for right now, I'm gonna be honest. Makoto, I admit, you have a good eye for spotting useful clues. But you also need to learn how to make use of those clues. Thanks for the half-assed compliment, Byakuya. Where am I going?
In other words... Hey.
Okay, yes, I get it. There's an important secret hidden there. I get what the secret is, but I don't know how to I don't know how to show Makoto what the secret is. Makoto is a dumb motherfucker sometimes. Makoto is a simple boy. That's a nicer way of putting what I said. Yeah.
What the heck? I won't
Alright, what am I failing to find here? Is it really the magazine stand that's all that's left for me to look at? Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. When did she say that? Huh? This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident?
Hey.
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through. This is... On one of the pages near the center of the magazine, a word had been written in blood. Bloody letters. Bold, bloody letters. And it said Toko. Could this be... a dying message?
Correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this...
So...
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message.
However...
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that... That says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it.
What the heck?
Then she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
I won't forgive
It's settled. She's the killer for sure. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. Alright, we made it.
Whoops! You caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake.
Yeah, me either, Monokuma.
Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's already time. But the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial. No, not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. Monokuma made his announcement, and everyone began to meet up one after another. And then... The ultimate martial artist! A locked room murder mystery!
What?
What the... Oh, I've just recently discovered the power of emoticons! Like, no matter how awful something is, if you toss in a smiley face, it turns positive!
Yes, indeed.
For example... You're at a picnic and you find a dead body! This is just plain creepy!
Well,
Yeah, especially since he called them emoticons. And how about the reverse? Nowadays, we just use the Japanese word. No matter how great something is, if you put in a sad face, it makes it look super negative.
Yes, indeed.
For example, do you have 100 friends? He's right. That does make it seem sad.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
Now then, please get on the elevator. I'll see you all down there. What the hell was that? I don't get it.
Just the worst.
I don't get you guys. How can you act so casual after murdering someone?
Don't look at me.
I don't think I'm acting casual.
Don't be mean.
I mean, I didn't murder anyone.
What the heck?
Yeah, I'm completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer?
What the heck?
Whatever. Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt one of us is the culprit. The killer, the one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know. And yet someone killed her. And that person is here? That person is one of us?
Don't look at me.
I said it before and I'll say it again. It wasn't me. The culprit is one of us. Make no mistake about that.
What the heck?
Because I didn't do it. How many times do I have to tell you?
What the heck?
How can you just stand there and say you didn't do it without even breaking a sweat?
Hey,
Standing around here isn't going to do any good. Let's get going. Come on, it's time to put an end to this. I made my way toward the elevator. But with each step I took, I felt like I was moving further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear running through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. No matter how many times I go through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into our steel prison in total silence. We watched the doors close and felt it begin its sinister descent. The elevator lowered, uttering its all too familiar clunking sounds. It fell lower and lower, and as suddenly as always, the ride was over. The doors opened once again. Just the 6 of you, huh? Really? That's so few! You must be so lonely! You say that like it's not your fault. We're all that's left. I wonder, will the class trial end with one last classmate again? Or will your school life come to an end completely?
Now then.
Are we ready to begin? You know the drill. Find your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened for the 4th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial, a Dudley dilemma. All right, well, that's going to conclude Danganronpa for today. I have a little bit of time, though. We could always throw in something bonus here. I'm not really sure what. What you thinking? I don't know. Just something we could do for an hour. Give or take.